This is Never Gallimore from the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it? Let's get it.
What's up, Cowboys Nation?
What is up, man? Welcome to a fun edition. This is going to be fun. Cowboys Cade. If you guys missed us last night, we had a great time with Malik Rozier from the U. It's all about the U sometimes. So we just had good chat about college. I mean, he knows his college football, and also we got an NFL, and then we dipped into the Cowboys. But tonight is all Cowboys, and we got some Eagles talk too. What do you think about that, Kelly? I know you fight with them all the time.
Yeah, it's good. We did a little college last night. Now we're switching gears and we back to the home, the main entree, the main dish that we like to cover, which is Cowboys football, and it's going good. I just poured me a nice Modelo into a glass of ice here. I got a nice good chilada ready to go for the show. I got a rack of ribs on the smoker. I even threw like one singular piece of chicken because I felt like that I should smoke a bird at the same time we smoking some birds. So it's gonna be a good show. I'm ready for it. It's time to have some good talk.
You got to do a ceremonial shot for this. I don't know if you're prepared for that, but
I mean, I felt like I should have had something on deck, man, to take a little shot for this because it's kind of monumental when you get the Cowboys cave and you bring in a Philadelphia Eagle faction. So, and hopefully some Philadelphia Eagles fans show up in the chat too, so that he's not.
I mean, maybe Carl will come out of hiding.
Maybe Carl can come out here and he can throw about his same, 5 or 6 played out lines that he likes to throw in the chat. But we'll see what's going on. I'm looking forward to this. This should be some fun.
It's going to be a good time. More importantly is, we set our goal, man. We're getting new subscribers, so we appreciate it. Hit that like, subscribe, share. If you're new, holler at us in the chat. But we're getting ever so close to 2,000. So like we said, our sponsor, one of our first sponsors, Cuts by Jones, he had said he's going to do a giveaway. At 2,000 subscriber, we're going to do a live giveaway. Got to be present to win, of course.
Yep.
But we're going to do a beautiful piece of his. You can choose. He's giving you options. You got We Dem Boys, you got the Dallas Cowboys, but it's great work. Looks good in any cave. If you see mine, I got one behind me above my head. He does awesome stuff. So we're excited about that for sure.
Yeah, he definitely does great work. I've got a piece of his hanging in my spot that he so graciously gifted me. It's a Texas Tech. It looks beautiful. I don't have many Texas Tech things. Most of mine's Cowboys. I've got a few things, not enough. And he was able to, give me one. So anything that's coming from Cuts by Jones, it's going to be legit. And I mean, it don't cost you guys a thing to like the channel and subscribe, but we are picking up steam and we just getting going. I mean, this thing we ain't really been doing this that long. The season's about to start. And, hopefully this is the best season yet. So we're going to pick up some momentum and we just want you guys to take that ride with us. So definitely like, subscribe, and share. And hey, get this out there, man. If you got Cowboys fans that don't know about this, that ain't on Twitter, that ain't on social media, let them know, man. It don't take nothing to sign on to YouTube.
Well, absolutely. And more importantly, I broke out the cup today, the 5-time.
Five-time. There we go.
For our guests. So we've got special guests. It's Birds vs. Boys podcast. Kevin and Aiden, good guys, man. I've been on their show a few times, and we always kick it, have an enjoyable time. And Aiden's an Eagles fan, but I do like him. I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, it breaks my heart. Now there's gonna be no mercy here tonight. The love loss is over when it gets going. So we're gonna bring him in, and we're gonna get this party started. And it looks like. I don't know what you see, Kelly. Oh, there it is. What's up, man? What's up, Kevin? How you doing?
What's up, fellas? Hold on. Is my boy late?
That's what it looks like. A typical Eagle coward. He knows what's going to happen. I told him it's a handicap match. He's going to be in trouble, and he's already – could he be backing down? Does he not want to – I mean, is he scared?
He's scared, and he's going to come with the excuses, and he's going to come with the excuses fast and heavy and hard because all of a sudden – He hurt his ankle this week. He's playing pickup basketball. He thinks he either broke his ankle, didn't break his ankle. Then he sprained his ankle. I don't know if it's sprained. Now maybe he tore a ligament. I don't know. That's probably why he's late. He's texting me right now. And Cowboys chat while you're watching this. He goes, "Winners show up when they want."
Oh,
That's what he said.
Well, he tore his labia, so I know he's injured. We gotta, we'll figure it out, and hopefully he's gonna be okay.
I have to say, boys, though, I'm going to need one of those cuts because I told you off air, and for everybody, watching, I'm not in my cave right now, right? I am in my wife's office.
It's a work in progress.
I am building out my cave, so I'm going to need one of those.
Well, you'd be there live, or you do one better. Be sympathetic to the cause, and you hit up Cuts by Jones. He's an awesome guy. If you don't know him already, man, and he'll do a custom whatever you want. You look at the one over my head. I mean, you're a father now, so you understand it. It's a family picture that we had the first family picture in front of AT&T, all four of us together. So it's above there, and it'll be up there until I'm not around anymore. Then the kids can figure out what to do with it.
You'll be around forever, my friend.
Yeah. Pass it down generation to generation. That's what I tell my kids. I said, when I die, they're like, "What are you going to give us when you're gone?" I said, "A lot of cowboy shit. A lot of cowboy shit."
So it looks like that's why they lost a big game. They can't be prepared. You can't show up on time. You can't do all the right things. I'm going to be very disappointed, Nate. But I got some treats. Kelly and I were talking, and we're going to have some treats for him. But until we get to that, what's your opinion of the Cowboys? I mean, you got training camp starting. How you feeling as a fan?
I'm excited. I really am. But nervous. And I have tempered expectations, if all three of those things make sense, right? I'm excited because obviously as a fan, as someone who covers the team, if you're not excited a couple weeks out of training camp, go home, right? Yeah. This is the time where everybody should be excited, right? Everybody has a chance. Every single team going to training camp should have that mentality. This is our year. We're going to win the damn Super Bowl. If you don't have that mentality, I don't want you on my fan base. Go home. So that's why I'm excited. I'm nervous because I've also been a Cowboys fan for 36 years. I've seen this. I've lived this every year since the 90s, and it's the same thing, and then I get let down. And I have tempered expectations because there's so much change, right? New offensive coordinator. Mike's calling the plays now. We got a whole litany. Zeke's gone. How's Pollard going to handle that? We have to figure out RB2, how's Dak going to bounce back? The media, 10 interceptions. So there's so much going around surrounding this team. And they have a tough schedule, right? A tough division. I think the Giants are going to be better than people think this year. I think Washington's going to be better than people think. I think the Eagles are going to suck, but that's just because I have to say that.
Kelly, do you want to talk about the Giants? Go ahead. That surprised me what he said.
Talk about the Giants. Well, I said already that I think that, me and Mike talked about it last night. There's three things in life that are certain: death, taxes, and the Cowboys whooping the Giants' ass, because the Cowboys have been whooping the Giants' ass for a while. Now, I do agree that the Giants, they were pretty decent last year. They have added a few key pieces. I'm just still skeptical because I don't have any trust or faith in Danny Pesos. I call him that because they call him Danny. He's not worth a dime. He's worth a peso, maybe. He don't impress me, and I just don't think he's a franchise quarterback. I don't think he's worth the $40 million that they paid him. And I think if Saquon sits out, if he sticks by his guns and he sits out the whole year, man, that's a big weapon off of that offense that he's not going to have. That's a crutch that he ain't going to be able to lean on. And if
you think there's any legitimate chance he misses time?
Oh, I
do. I think Saquon will. I think he is digging his heels in. And honestly, I think there's probably a lot of running backs that are telling him, hey, you probably need, maybe they want a big time guy like him to do this, to maybe see if they can move that, they can push that line amongst the owners to say, hey, if these guys are willing to sit out and miss money, maybe we do need to, because I think he's got all the leverage right now with the Giants, because the Giants who are they going to run out there at running back? Not anybody to Saquon's level. And he had 1,300 yards last year, 10 touchdowns, but he's a weapon that has to be accounted for in that offense. Yeah. And if you take him out, you make Danny Pesos a one-dimensional quarterback. It's going to be a long season for that dude.
Yeah, you take him out of the equation week one without that home run hit ability, Dan Quinn's going to eat that offense alive.
Oh God,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's blitzing all day.
Well,
Yeah.
and you just saw Jacobs are saying he's not going to be coming into camp. So I think these running backs, they're going to have to do something. But I think the thing that Barkley has, and he's got the money. I mean, he was a first rounder, so he's got some money. So he was in a little bit different position than Pollard. I mean, this is Pollard's first chance to get some serious cash. So he signed a franchise tag, take that $10 million and run with it. So, like I said, Eagles are cowards. And I see that Aiden decides to finally show up. So I'm gonna play something. I'm gonna play something for him. I don't know if you know, but we've had some players on, and I'm always cordial. I sit there and say, I want the opposing team. Kelly talks about it. We reach out to these guys, and it's something about the Eagle players. When I say Cowboys cut, they hang up on me, or they tell me to F off or something like that. So we've had some Redskins, formerly Redskins, that they were Redskins when they played, and we've had some Steelers, we've had some Raiders, we've had all these different teams. I did get an Eagle, and I asked him, and Kelly asked him as well, as what are your thoughts on Eagle fans? And here's what he said. Wait a minute, let me try this again. Audio's not where. Let me try it again. The video. Let me start over. It's too good. It's too good.
Control, man.
I know. This is what happens when you do everything. So let's see here.
We got to call Vince. We got to get you a producer.
You do. I wish you would. We'll get it. Let me get it back on here. I'm working this stuff. The thing I found is when you do it, you have to, once you do it once, it goes black. So here we go. Now we're good.
Well, I wasn't exactly exposed to the Philly fans on purpose.
On purpose.
Because I didn't have a bulletproof vest or all kind of things. The Eagle fans, they say are passionate. I think they're batshit crazy, to be honest with you, because I've been around passionate fans. Passionate fans don't spit on people. Okay, I watch people spitting on people in fights and throwing beers, and man, used to be it. Listen, they're passionate. Don't get me wrong, they're passionate, but you should be able to wear the opposing team's jersey in a stadium and not be scared to get murdered. Because as a Philly, I was in Philly. I've had a couple people say to me, "Hey, I'm going to Philadelphia. I'm going to wear my Lions jersey." And I look at them. I go, "Look at my face. This is my serious face. Don't do it. Like, there's no reason to do it to yourself, because they run around with the Crips and the Bloods, and they don't F around. I'm telling you."
Yeah.
So,
so that's an Eagle talking about their fans.
And it's true. I will attest. I am married to one. So yes, they are batshit crazy.
And speaking of, now we bring one in. We got my man Aiden. He decides to show up a little fashionably late, of course.
Hold on.
Your ankle. Your ankle hurt?
My ankle is broken. We'll just get that out of the way now. I'm playing injured tonight for you guys. It literally is broken. I do this nice thing where, listen, my team is solidified. MVP candidate quarterback, best offense in the league. So we're solidified. You guys, your best player doesn't want to show up to camp. You're getting misquoted quarterback comments, everything like that. I figured you guys had more to talk. Let me give them the floor. They got a lot of settled for their team because they're in disarray. My team's settled. So I was like, I'll give them some time. I'll show up a little bit late.
Did you say we're in disarray?
The Cowboys. Yes.
Where?
Wasn't it 24 hours ago? Your best player doesn't want to show up to camp?
Oh, give me a break.
The best player is Micah Parsons. And last I checked, Micah Parsons is showing up to camp. Micah Parsons is our best player.
Okay.
Let's say that.
All right. You might have an argument because Kevin, what do you think? Because I feel like for a while you've said Zach Martin's your best player.
I think he's our best offensive player. Yeah, but
I think he's the most indisposable player on that team. Probably the guy that we can't afford to lose. But the best player is Micah Parsons. That's probably the best player in the entire NFL.
I will tell you, okay, Aiden went to high school, the same high school as Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I will not argue with you at all. I would actually lead the campaign for Micah being phenomenal defensive end, put him at linebacker, put him in at running back. He might be the best running back in the league. Put him in a kick returner in high school. He used to return kicks. Like, he was just phenomenal. He was the best player on their basketball team. So I'm all about it. that's where we're allies with the Micah thing. So I appreciate you guys having me on. Sorry for running late. I'm still in my work clothes. I don't know if you can see. And also I got the boot on my foot.
We don't want to see it. Trust me, we don't want to see it. But more importantly, how is your draft class? You know, they staying out of jail, and we're gonna get some. You got some stripes for them. What are we doing with that draft class you got? Because you got everything settled, but you seem to have some guys that are getting a little bit of trouble here and there.
So crazy. Today there's a story. Jordan Addison going 150 miles an hour speeding. What rookie would do that? That is just ridiculous, irresponsible. I don't know anybody else in this rookie draft class that would do something like
That kill two people.
You just need to reprimand those guys when that stuff happens.
You know, the sad thing about that, all of that, honestly, though, is you would think after the whole Henry Ruggs debacle that some of these guys would start to fucking learn from that, man.
Yep.
That you got to just make smarter decisions. And I know a lot of these guys are young, and I know every single person on this panel probably did some stupid shit when we were young, but it's like when you have that kind of talent, and you have that kind of, future in front of you, you got to just be smarter than that, man. So it kind of sucks when you hear stuff like that, man. These young kids making dumb decisions like that. You gotta have somebody in their corner that's telling them to not do that kind of shit. So
yeah. On a serious note, I hope that is the way for Jalen Carter, being with Fletcher Cox, being with Brandon Graham, and being in a just kind of solidified locker room where you can't really the culture's set and you can't really get away with that stuff. I find it crazy that it keeps happening at Georgia, such a respected program, national championships, and their coaches up there at media day having to talk about all the different driving incidents that they've had. And like you said, you'd think that you'd learn millions of dollars, Henry Ruggs living out his dream, and it's gone like that. You'd think that these programs would understand and kids would understand like that. You do stupid shit when you're young, but I'm hoping that Jalen Carter, like that kind of stuff is behind him at Georgia and we can move on and he's in a good locker room, good culture.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, thankfully, you guys got a jail cell at the stadium, so he's not anymore home, if you know what I mean. So, we'll see. But hey, no, real quick, we didn't get a chance because you showed up fast and late. Birds vs. Boys podcast. Make sure if you guys are watching, they do a great job. A lot of Cowboys. Unfortunately, you got to listen to some Eagles to go with it, but they're two great dudes, and they say it like it is. I mean, Aiden's been very kind. He understands that at AT&T. Your boy's there. He already tells me, he goes, I'm not even going to waste it. We already checked the L off there. He knows what happened when we own the Eagles.
He didn't answer the phone, though. He did not answer the phone. Tag.
I answered the phone. You called Kevin. I got the voicemail, though. It was funny. I took the L and I was laughing at the call. I loved it, though. It was fantastic.
I think I still have that saved, too, hopefully.
More importantly, I want to get the other side. So you're hearing all the hype, Aiden. You got the Eagles. You're getting all this stuff. You lost the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl hangover, all these things that go with it. You got the Cowboys. You're losing more. You're getting all that stuff. So as an Eagle fan, what is your thoughts on the East? What's your first thoughts?
Really good division, and I'm not just saying this because we host the Birds vs. Boys podcast, but I do think it's a 2-horse race. Washington, like maybe in a decade, they're so excited about Josh Harris. I'm a Sixers fan. Like I know he's a step above Dan Snyder. Not really, like barely. So I think they have a long way to go. I think the Giants have a long way to go. I heard you guys talking about the running back situation. I think without Saquon Barkley, that offense will be anemic. So I think it'll be a 2-horse race. I know we're supposed to come on and I'll be the antagonist and talk trash, but I do respect the Cowboys and I think they have a great roster. So I think this will be a very good fight this year, as it is most years. I think the only year it really wasn't was the year that Dak broke his ankle. Stand with you in solidarity now, brother, because this really fucking hurts. I'm not going to lie. So I think that was really the only year where we were like, this is bad. Most years it's like we're both in it and we're both playoff bound. So this should be awesome this year.
Well, maybe I could stir the pot. Kelly, why don't you tell them what you think the Eagles' record's going to be this year?
9-8.
9-8.
And here's the thing. I'm not saying that because I'm a Cowboys fan and I dislike the Eagles, because I definitely dislike the Eagles. I mean, I dislike the Eagles like I dislike stubbing my toe on the bedpost in the morning. But listen, I think that I think the Super Bowl hangover is real. I think that the fact that they lost both coordinators, I know that a lot of Eagles fans tell me that the defensive coordinator getting gone was a good thing, but they lost the offensive coordinator. So this will be Jalen Hurts' third offensive coordinator basically in 3 years. That can't be understated. It's not always as easy as just plug and play with a new offensive coordinator. So I understand this offensive coordinator will probably, they all say the right things about they're going to want to keep the same type of verbiage and play to his strengths and this stuff like that. But let's just face it, Jalen Hurts in his first year did so bad that the ownership wanted to trade him from Russell Wilson. So granted, he had a good year last year, but he's got one bad year and he's got one really great year. And I think Jalen Hurts, I don't think he's necessarily a bad quarterback. I'm not going to say he's trash by any means. I think he's good. I think he's got a lot of talent. But I think that also there was a lot of luck in last year. It was a lot easier schedule. They were injury free for the most part. And I don't see that happening in back-to-back years. And I see some struggles for him this year. So I got him going 9-8, man. I do believe it'll be the Cowboys and the Eagles, and I think it'll be close down the stretch. But I got the Cowboys winning 13 games, and I got Philly winning 9 games. And
Look at that. Close. We got it by Thanksgiving. We're relaxing.
Yeah.
13.
Well, I'm saying to start out, but I'm going to say they're going to fall off. I looked at the schedule. I think they're going to fall. They're going to have some struggles, though. I got us at 13 wins, and I got them at 9. And I'm telling you, I've tweeted it out, and I'll get murdered if it doesn't happen, because I'm sure there's plenty of Eagles fans that have bookmarked my shit, but I'm standing by it. That's how I feel. So
I'll let you take that, Aiden.
Well, I want to, before Aiden responds, we have a friend of the show, Eugene Lockhart, and we, he's been on a couple times. We have a good time with him. So I'd asked him, I said, you played against the Eagles and this, what do you think? Because we talked about the schedule. And I said, do you guys really do that win-loss, before the season? Do players do that like we do? And this is what he said.
And usually during the off season, when they bring the schedule out, we would chalk it up as a W.
Now that's what he said, and Kelly just did the same, and I feel the same. I think we're going to take it, but I want to give you a chance to respond to what Kelly said. 9-8, Cowboys winning 13. That doesn't even seem like it's close.
So there are some valid concerns. Super Bowl hangover. The injury thing to me is the most pressing concern because I will gladly admit last year in NFL terms is a fluke. The 22 starters that we had week 1 were the 22 starters we had in the Super Bowl. How often does that happen for anybody? It's so rare. It almost never happens. So that is my big concern going into this year is it just takes one guy, even if it's, Jalen Hurts. Like A.J. Brown has been hurt multiple years before he was an Eagle, when he was in Tennessee, hamstring, knee, everything like that. Dallas Goedert's been hurt multiple times in his career. So if those start to pile up, then I would worry. But if you look on paper at this roster, I know the schedule gets harder, but top 5 offensive line, I know you want more of a sample size from Jalen Hurts, but I think we can all respect him as a quarterback. Skill position players can respect them. On defense, a lot of new guys, but at the same time, a lot of guys who were redshirted last year that we're excited about, like Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, guys who we expect to make an impact. So I'm looking at the team that was 9-8 and the lack of talent that they had, and looking at this roster on this paper, this team this year, if they played the 9-8 team from 2 years ago, would beat them by 17 points. There's that much of a talent gap. So I don't know about 9-8. I think if you guys are winning 13 games, we're winning 13 games.
What do you think, Kev?
I think the one thing that scares me, Aiden, about you guys for you is the age at some positions where you are relying on, right?
Yeah.
Your center, Kelsey, never gets hurt. Age is getting up there. Even Lane Johnson, right tackle, arguably the best in the league, probably top 3 tackle in the league. What's he, 34 years old now? He's also a known cheater, but I'll leave that here.
Okay.
PEDs? No? Yeah. Did he get suspended for PEDs?
Yeah, allegedly.
Okay.
There was something in the pre-workout and the, protein and how that goes.
Also, some of the guys on the defensive line, right? Brandon Graham, older. Fletcher Cox, getting older. And I understand that you have the young guys backfilling them, right? You have Jalen Carter, you have Jordan Davis now, but they're younger guys. So you still are relying on Darius Slay's getting older. Bradbury's a little bit older. So it's an older roster at the positions where you really need them to succeed. So you lose 2 of those, maybe 3 for a long stretch. It's a completely different season. So yes, I agree that being healthy through the entire season is not going to happen again. right, for any team. So that's your biggest concern. If you do stay healthy again the entire season, it's a problem. You're winning more than 9 games. That's it. And yes, I agree with Mark in the comments. Lane Johnson is Mr. False Start. He has figured out that leg sweep. It's like it's right in the rules. It's basically a caveat in the rules where he sweeps that leg. It's not technically a false start, but if you watch, so it's not a penalty. But
and one other thing I want to add just real quick too, that somebody kind of reminded me of that also that I think about. You guys have some potential at that running back position, but man, the running backs that you guys got, man, their greatest hits are on the IR. I mean, those dudes can't stay healthy. So you talk about that too, man. If you guys ain't got a solid run game, because I'm just gonna say Miles Sanders last year was way better than anything that you guys got right now, just because neither Swift nor what is it Penny and Swift?
Yeah,
right.
Penny.
I mean, neither one of those guys through their entire careers have showed that they can stay healthy over any stretch. I mean, and Swift's greatest is 600 yards is the most he's ever rushed for in a season. So, I mean, depending on two guys like that, now granted, there are some running backs still in that free agent pool you guys could go and snag, but I'm not really very high on the running game either. So that's also something that factors into it for me as well. It's just something that I have a gut feeling that there's going to be a little bit of a fall off, but maybe that's just a little bit of the cowboy in me hoping for that as well. So we're going to find out though.
But you make good points. I don't know, 9 games maybe, but I'm not going to do this because this is what I told you. Aiden sucks you in with his kindness, and this is supposed to be a hate fest. We're supposed to be beating the hell out of them. We got 3 Cowboy fans, and we're saying we're doing kumbaya. So I'm not happy about that.
That's our whole show, Mike. We started.
I was going to say it's funny you say that. Yeah. It was supposed to be like a debate show, like me and him going back and forth, and then we started doing the show, and we're like, I kind of like this guy. Like, he has like really solid football takes. I really like him.
And then it turned into just we like to discuss football.
Us being friends.
No, you guys do a great job. So definitely Birds vs. Boys. You guys, if you're not subscribed, do it. But yeah, you got to admit, the Eagles, everything went their way. The schedule, we had the same schedule pretty much. But it's all about timing. It's when you play teams. You played Jordan Love. You played Trevor Lawrence early. And I think it's all about timing. And I think you guys obviously benefit. You create your own opportunities. The playoffs, you can say what you want. I think the Giants are overrated. I think they're going to flop this year. That's just my opinion. I don't think they're any good. I think they just got lightning in a bottle, and I don't think they have enough talent. But you got to play them in the playoffs. That's kudos for you getting that number 1 seed. What I was telling you, number 1 seed is so important now because it's the only one that gets the bye. And then you get that, you knock out Purdy, and you're next thing you know, you got McCaffrey's the quarterback. So you got a very nice way into the season, just worked out. Everything fell to place. I don't know if that happens again, but it was you got to agree with that.
I do to an extent I do, and especially with the schedule thing. I think there's a point in the schedule this year where it's like a murderer's row. We play the Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, and I think at Seattle in a month stretch. So like sometimes the schedule works out your way and sometimes it doesn't. And like you said, sometimes like the Jaguars took off towards the back half. We played them in the front half. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like there weren't many games where like, woof, glad we got it out of there unscathed against that lesser opponent. We were just beating the hell out of everybody that was in front of us.
I remember a couple. The Colts
I think game, maybe the Cardinals.
The Lions
started
game,
down
week 1.
Yeah, but that schedule, there was so much hype around the Lions. We're at the Lions. It was the quickest they had sold out, everything like that. I believe they're on Hard Knocks. A lot of hype around them. Came in, put up 38 against them. And
34. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Vaunted defense, you got vaunted.
And they figured it out, as the schedule goes.
Yeah, because later in the season, they gave up 40 to Dallas. They figured it out.
Oh, man, that was a track meet. That was wild.
30, baby.
That was pretty wild. But it's, again, like a schedule thing. The schedule benefit, Jalen Hurts gets hurt the week before. Then we play you guys. And that's just kind of how it goes. So I do agree. Sometimes it depends on where the schedule's at. But I would wake up every Sunday, and I just wasn't that nervous about games. Even that NFC Championship against the 49ers, I wish that Brock Purdy stayed healthy because I'm so tired of hearing from their fans about, you knocked their quarterback out. We didn't have a quarterback. That's why we lost. No, you lost because you couldn't block Hassan Reddick at any point during the game, and that's why your quarterback was hurt. So we put who was in front of us and just beat the hell out of them. and we ended up in the Super Bowl, and that was that.
Yeah, and so I got to ask you this as an Eagle fan because they always talk about it. Are you satisfied getting to the Super Bowl? Like, are you satisfied with the season? You're 1-3 in the Super Bowls. I mean, but does that make you feel good? Hey, we got there. Dallas hasn't gotten there in 27 years. You could keep throwing it. The funny thing is, you never really said that until you finally got your first one. Then those years mattered. The 50 years before that, you never said you hadn't been to the Super Bowl in 50 years to yourself. But it seemed to change once you guys won. Which congrats. But you know. Were you happy? I mean, at the end of the day, you look back, the season's over. You got a month to kind of digest. Is success for you guys?
Aiden finished second place in every professional sport this past season.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like the Phillies, Union, and Eagles all came in second place. So, in the Eagles' case, no, I was not satisfied. You had a double-digit lead. Your quarterback put the team on his back, gets you to 35-35 in the Super Bowl. You have to get one stop to get off the field, get him the ball back, and you probably win a Super Bowl, and you don't do it. So I feel like I'll probably spend the rest of my life thinking about that drive and that moment and how they never got Jalen Hurts the ball back. So I'm happy. As an Eagles fan, I'm happy because I'm 27. So like for the past 2 decades, they've been really good. So I'm like content, but they should have 2 Super Bowls and I'll have to regret that forever. Or a team like the Phillies, who they've sucked since they last time they were in the playoffs in like 2010. So when they made it to the World Series, I was happy. But with the Eagles, I was like, no, we squandered a huge opportunity.
He's such a young pup, fellas. He does not even remember or know anything about our true teams in the 90s.
I never saw the Cowboys win a Super Bowl. Never. I was born the same year that they won their last Super Bowl. Never seen.
So you probably didn't even know Ian Beckles, who was on our show.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
it's a shame. He needs to see it. He needs to see it.
But when we leave, I'll play you another clip because it was funny because when we had him on the show, I knew he was an Eagle, but he played with the Bucks for a while. And the one game against the Eagles Cowboys, the first Eagle Cowboy game I went to, the Eagles were beating the whole game. Cowboys come back. They go to the Eagles, then drive back down. They go to kick the winning field goal, and our former kicker, who was going for the win, the punter botched it, and all of this and that. Well, that was his game, and he said that was the most disappointing loss that he's ever had. And it was just funny because it was by chance, and I just played it, and it turned into be gold. But I felt bad for him because it was, you hate that. But I've never seen it. I don't expect it to happen. But I will give the Eagles credit. I think, as much as we bash them, they had a good year. They had a good year. I think Hurts is there. But more importantly, a question I have, Charleston Rambo, is he going to make the team?
Charleston Rambo?
From the U. How do you guys not know you picked up a receiver from the U on your team? And he's a great receiver, man. You guys hit gold.
I hope so. I mean, the Quez Watkins experiment might be ending. We'll take another receiver, and I think Zach Pascal left in free agency, so we're looking for guys. I don't know if he's going to make the roster, though.
What kind of receiver is he, Tag? Big, fast?
No, he's 6'1". He's a fast guy. He was a big play for Miami. He was in Carolina last year and played in the USFL. I think it was either USFL or the other one, but he blew up. He had a big year. And
easy, Aiden. The Cowboys are the kings of the USFL.
Yeah,
okay?
No, listen. As I went to Temple, and PJ Walker is my hero. He played for the Houston Roughnecks, and now he's in the NFL. So I'm all about that pipeline coming up.
Yeah. So we'll get back to business at hand. Enough of the niceness. So talking about the defense, Kelly, what is your thoughts when you're looking at their defense versus our offense? Any concerns on your side being a Cowboy fan?
As far as Philly's defense versus our offense?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw what Dak did to him last year with a lesser receiving crew, with one of the receiving crews that had like the least amount of separation of anybody out there. And I mean, we brought in, now we're going to have, we're bringing a guy like Cooks, who definitely can take the top off an offense. I'm not really scared of Philly's defense because, first of all, they were exploitable last year. They lost. I mean, you guys did lose 5 defensive starters. And I know I've heard when I've talked to other people, they're like, well, yeah, some of them guys we didn't really need. But you lost 5 defensive starters. And a lot of the guys that you're looking to get, to replace that, what you lost, is with a lot of youth on that team. A lot of unproven, just kind of like the Cowboys in terms of our running backs. But after Pollard, we don't really have a lot of proven. But that's kind of like you guys on defense. I feel like you guys got a lot of spots where you're counting on guys that haven't really shown a whole lot. And last year, let's just face it, Philadelphia's defense was exploited on multiple occasions by better quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, Dak Prescott. I know they talk about that game and say, well, yeah, we didn't have Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts doesn't play defense. I mean, that Dak Prescott sliced that defense apart. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just, me personally, the Eagles, they are a good team. I'm not gonna try to shit on what they got this year, but I'm not scared of them as a Cowboys fan. There hasn't been a repeat winner in the NFC East for, what is it now, going on, what is it, 10 years, 12 years, something like
more
that.
than that, I think.
So I don't think that the Eagles are winning the NFC East. I think the Cowboys are going to take the East, and I think the Eagles are going to have some struggles. I think they got some bright spots. Some of those guys that they drafted have some potential, but if you look over the last several years, the Eagles, I mean, they don't really draft the greatest. Look at some of their draft picks. Look at all their draft picks they've had that aren't even on the teams anymore. So I understand about the potential, but a lot of the guys they've drafted in the past, they've had potential too, but they just haven't panned out. So, I mean, until the Eagles start drafting like the Cowboys, I'm not really going to be scared of a bunch of rookies that are going to
be bad mouth in the Eagles draft, Kelly. If it wasn't for them, we might not have got Parsons. So
yeah, no, that's right. That's right. They did pass up on Micah Parsons.
Aiden, it was good doing business with you on that draft, bro.
No, so Aiden, you hear that, and I obviously want you to respond because you're getting attacked on your defense and against our offense. And you do have someone. I want to say that my man James is new to the show. At least he's commenting, and he's got your back. He's saying that here comes some of the excuses. Here comes this. Is that what you're feeling with Cowboy fans? We always got an excuse for you, or what?
First of all, James, thanks for hopping in the foxhole with me. So we're behind enemy lines right now. I don't. Here's the thing, Kelly. To your point, I will say this about the Eagles. I don't know what it is when we go down to AT&T Stadium. Dak Prescott looks like a Hall of Famer every time. It doesn't matter who is on our defense, who's our defensive coordinator. Albeit last year, Jonathan Gannon should serve prison time. He is the worst, and I hate him. He ruined our shot at a Super Bowl. And for his 2 years, like anytime we play a competent quarterback, their completion percentage would be like 80%. It was crazy. But I don't know what it is. There's just a boogeyman down there where we go down there. And I remember that overtime game where Rasul Douglas was in the game and the ball gets tipped and Amari Cooper catches it. And it's a track meet in the fourth quarter. Every time we go down there, our defense just completely falls apart. So I will agree with you guys there. If I could see one thing this year, it would be like a dominant defensive performance in Dallas because it's been a long time since that.
It's not happening. 0-5 at AT&T. I'm 5-0. Eagles at Texas Stadium and AT&T combined. So just let your goal be somewhere else. Go ahead.
Hey, that's like what you always say about Zeke. Whenever Zeke played at the Link against the Eagles, he just turned into a monster.
Yeah,
every time.
Ridiculous.
Well, here's one of the things too that I take away from that, and I'll let you finish. I don't know how to take away from, but I think the Eagles Cowboys thing has become the rivalry in the NFC East right now.
Oh yeah.
And so I think that Dak Prescott plays really well against the Eagles because that's like he knows like Micah Parsons is out here giving guys credit on the Eagles and hey, go win a Super Bowl. Dak Prescott's like, nah, I'm not about to say that shit. I know my fan base and everything. I'm not about to go there and say all that. So Dak knows what that rivalry means. So I think he just, he plays up to it when they play. That's part of it.
No, I would agree. Kevin, I want to let you jump in, then I want to ask you a question. Give your response to that.
Yeah, so in terms of the Eagles defense against the Cowboys offense, the one thing I'm going to say and that I'm going to need to know is who's playing offensive line, right? Is Terrence Steele in the game at right tackle? Who's playing left tackle? Who's playing left guard? That's going to be the biggest question because if Terrence Steele is still not healthy for whatever reason, and we have, Smith at one side at tackle, and then we had to bump Smith in at guard, and maybe, God forbid, Josh Ball is out there at tackle.
Don't say that.
Then it's game over. So if we have a healthy offensive line, Biotish is playing well. Our best player on the team, Aiden, is there at right guard. Then it's a different ballgame, and I think we can handle it. if the offensive line is in shambles and they can't run the ball and the Eagles can pin their ears back and do what we saw them do last year and get after the quarterback, then it's a different ballgame.
Yeah. No, I mean, if I'm being fair, I think the offensive line that's the big question mark for Cowboy fans, is because it's not with Tyron, it's not if, it's when. And Cowboys were very lucky last season with all the injuries they had on their offensive line. It was like they lost someone came back. They lost someone came back. So they were able to survive that. So I want to jump into the flip side of it, but first, something that I was thinking about, Aiden, and I want to get your honest opinion. And Kevin, being his boy, I want you to make sure it's right too. Does it seem like Eagle fans, the measuring stick for them is the Dallas Cowboys? Like, I always hear Hurts and Dak, CD, AJ. They're always comparing our guys. It's Reddick, Parsons. It's all these different names. It seems like they just want validation. And I've gotten into it with some Eagle fans, and at the end they're just saying, please, why can't you just admit we're good? And I said, you were good, you went to the Super Bowl, what do you want me to do? But it's almost like that little brother big brother syndrome maybe they have. And as an Eagle fan, do you have that? I mean, is that, because I'll be straight with you, I don't think about the Eagles. I don't really I don't even know most of their players. I don't go on Eagle podcasts except yours.
Except ours.
Except yours. But I see so many Eagles on the podcast and trolling on the Cowboys. Is it just an infatuation they have with the Cowboys?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. So I don't think it's a little brother, big brother thing, especially, like I said, last 2 decades, we've been the most dominant force in the NFC East, 3 Super Bowl appearances, a victory, and won the most divisions. So let's just cut that right there. I do not feel like the little brother. Aside from the Patriots, I wouldn't trade and maybe the Steelers, I wouldn't trade my fandom with anybody in my lifetime. So I don't really have that. I think you compare the teams because the fan bases are so different. Like, everything in Philly is different from everything in Dallas, in good ways and bad ways, like for both fan bases. Like, Kevin and I talk about this all the time. Even the media in Dallas is a lot nicer and a lot less cutthroat than the media here.
How many of those guys have we had on our show that you fall in love with?
Yeah, and they're like the nicest guys ever. So there's like positives and negatives to both. But like most Cowboys fans, I see it as like living in Pennsylvania. I say, why are you a Cowboys fan? Like, you've never stepped foot in Texas. You've never gone to like a Cowboys game. And it's like, your grandpa was a bandwagon in 1970, and that's why you're a fan. And like, so you like butt heads, and that makes you compare players on the team and butt heads that way. And that's where you get those comparisons, like Dak versus Hurts, CeeDee Lamb versus AJ Brown. It's because these two very different forces are constantly butting heads with each other and need something to argue about.
But I will say that the Cowboys fans, the Cowboys team, are 100% rent-free in the Eagles fans' brains, much more than in Cowboys fans, because you will never see a Cowboys fan at a Cowboys game against the Arizona Cardinals wearing an Eagles suck shirt. You will see Eagles fans anywhere and everywhere wearing Dallas suck shirts at Phillies games, at Eagles Patriots games, at Washington Eagles games. It's always about that Dallas sucks chants at Flyers games. It's out of control. Will you ever hear an Eagles sucks chant at a Rangers game in Dallas? No. It's all about Cowboys, Cowboys, Cowboys. It's right there of how good the Eagles are and immediately checking on what's going on with the Cowboys.
And not only that, I've never in my fucking life seen an NFL head coach wear a beat Dallas shirt. Like, I mean, you got your head coach out here looking like a cheerleader with pom-poms going to his press conference with a beat Dallas shirt. Like,
and he lost the damn game.
And lost. Yeah. I mean, and then, and here's my thing too, man, is that with okay, so it's always like this like double standard. Like I have been known to give Philadelphia credit. I did it last year. I talked about that their team was a good team. I said, look, this is a team that is going to be dangerous. This is a team that is going to be, they need to be reckoned with, right? But man, when y'all beat us with Cooper Rush all I heard was, yeah, we beat y'all. I mean, your head coach is walking back in the locker room. How about them Eagles? And Cooper Rush is our quarterback, right? But then when we beat you guys with Gardner Minshew, it's like, well, we had Gardner Minshew, and it's like, wait a second, like let's rewind this back to the week when y'all beat us with Cooper Rush. So it's always to me like it's like, okay, I can give Eagles fans a little bit of credit. I'll be like, hey, I give y'all some credit for some of the things y'all doing. You're doing some good things. But when it comes to an Eagles fan ever giving the Cowboys credit, they'd rather bang their head on a brick wall and eat horse manure than fucking give the Cowboys credit. So I'm just like, it's almost like just wasting my breath even trying to argue sometimes with some of these Eagles fans, and I don't get it. I'm like, well, hey, it is what it is. Go Cowboys.
I do feel that though, because I've said this to Kevin over the years.
Mark Holmes said if the Cowboys don't win the Super Bowl, he'll tailgate in Philly and they'll let the fans run a train on them. So I don't know.
Oh, Mark Holmes in the house, baby.
I don't know if that's the Mark Holmes, but I'm just that's
Mark Holmes.
That though reminds me, Tag.
Just making sure. I know that's going to excite Philly fans because I watched something. I'm just going to be straight. I don't know if Cole's Cowboys put it on. I don't know if it was Rome that put it on, but they asked Eagle fans for a Super Bowl, would you give oral sex to another man? And they all said yes. Now, everyone do whatever the hell you want. I could care less, but I'd be damned. I don't know. I just can't see Cowboy fans doing that. Maybe you guys are more passionate. Maybe you guys do want it more than we do. But Kelly, would you do that? It's been 27 years. You take one for the team?
No, I'm not gonna do that, man. I'm gonna let fate do what it needs to do, man. I'm gonna be out on that one. I think I'm gonna pass. I might pass it to a Cowboys fan that maybe enjoys doing that as a pastime activity. Let him take that one for the team.
So, but Mike, are you coming up this year? I thought you were gonna head northeast.
I'll be honest with you. Ian Beckles got me a little nervous because I talked about it. That leads it up to it. But when is the game? Is it
right now?
Because if it's before November
5th.
Oh, all right. I'll figure it out. Now, is it going to the game or are we doing some kind of party somewhere?
We can do either.
Going to the game.
I don't know if I want to go to if I go to the game, I need to have security.
You'll be fine.
Mike. Hey, man, we can look at the logistics of it, man. I'll be your security, man. I ain't never went nowhere with my head down, boy. I'll go in there with my jersey on and we'll do this.
I'll look out for you guys.
I got kids. That's all I'm saying. I got kids. I got a wife that I got too many things. Those fans are a little crazy. But I will say this about the Eagle fans. I've hung out with them all at AT&T, and they're the coolest people. We sit, we talk a little smack. There's nothing. I mean, the greatest probably stadium I've ever been to watch a football game is Atlanta. Their fans are the best. But the Eagle fans, we all talk smack. It was good, like before the game over at Texas Live and stuff. So I don't know if they get in their little comfort zone, and they got the wolf pack with them and this and that. So then they get a little tougher if that's the way it works. But it seems like when they've been in Dallas, they're very kind. Very kind.
I will tell you this, as a Cowboys fan who lives an hour north of Philadelphia, who is married to an Eagles fan and does a podcast with an Eagles fan. I've been to Aiden? I think 6 Cowboys-Eagles games in Philly. Mm-hmm. I got all my limbs, still alive. It's all about how you present yourself, correct, Aiden? If I'm going in, fists ablazing, middle finger in everybody, mother effing everybody, this is my house, standing up, throwing up the X, you might have a problem. But if you go in there, even with Cowboys gear, which I've done, and I say, and they make fun of me. I go, yeah, I know everybody has their flaw. This is just mine being a Cowboys fan. Everybody laughs. I say, this is your house. I'm just visiting. If you are not bringing it on, they will leave you on. Correct, Aiden? Mm-hmm. Just don't disturb the bee's nest.
I'll just be straight up. I'm not going to sit there and let someone fucking just start talking shit to me. Part of my language to the audience. I'm not going to let someone just sit there and talk smack to me, and I'm not going to respond.
No, you can respond.
Yeah. It can be give and take, but I watch the game. I'm respectful for the people.
It also depends on where you're sitting.
Let someone talk noise to me, not say nothing back.
Sit lower, closer to the field. Don't go up.
I got you.
Right?
I think that's a good rule. But like Kevin said, I always tell people it's like bees. Like if you see a nest and you leave it alone, bees just come and go. They do whatever they need to do. They get their honey, they pollinate, everything like that. if you swing at a bee's nest, and then you can't get mad if you get stung, and that's what 49ers fans did.
All right, I see Fred Jones in the comments here. I'm not saying back down DC4L, my friend. What I'm saying is don't be a douchebag.
Yeah,
There's the difference between not backing down and being a douchebag. You can represent yourself. You can represent your team. You can be happy. You can be there and cheer. But you don't have to go up to an Eagle fan and be like, fuck you, man. You do that, guess what? You're on your own, brother.
Yeah. Conversations with other teams. Now, if they do to me, then I'm going to respond. But I never do. I'm always like, I mean, Kelly's going to see firsthand. I do the hype videos and this and that, but I'm focused on the game when I get inside there. I'm not jumping and doing backflips all over the place. But if you get me going, my mouth, I can't help it. That's
See, when the game is going on, it is not in. I do not have the ability to not. I'm not gonna sit there and talk a lot of shit, but I'm definitely being up. I'm yelling. I'm loud. You're gonna hear me wherever the hell you're at. You're gonna hear me. You're gonna know I'm around you. So like I've been to a lot of opposing stadiums, whether it be in college football or whatever, but mostly college football. But I get people looking at me like I'm crazy. They look at me like, damn. This dude is loud as shit, but that's just the way I am. But I'm not sitting there talking shit, trying to rub it in nobody's face. But if my team is doing good, you're definitely going to know they're doing good because I'm going to let you know. So that's just how I am. That's the kind of fan I am. But I'm definitely catching the game at Philly. It's on my bucket list to get up there.
Yeah,
come on up, boys.
You guys
we'll
are invited.
We'll definitely look at. I got to see the schedule. I go to all the Cowboy games. That's what I do. But I would love to go go up there one time.
Is it a night game?
Is it better? Is it better if the Cowboys lose, or if Philly gets stomped? Does that make it harder for the opposing fans? If Philly, you know what I mean? Or they heads are down, they're kind of like moping, or are they looking to kill somebody to make themselves feel?
I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, so that's the thing about Phillies fans is if we lose, we're booing our own team. We don't care what you guys are doing. Like, we're mad at them for embarrassing us. Like, we're on national TV playing the Cowboys, and we're down 3 touchdowns. We're pissed off at the team.
So then we're friends at the end. So it's more of a kumbaya. We're walking out, side by side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So you guys are celebrating the win, and we're like, what the hell did our team just do? So you're shit talking the Eagles, and we're also shit talking the Eagles.
Oh,
so.
But you will not hear the end of it walking out if the Eagles do win.
Oh yeah,
that is true.
Yeah,
we will rub it in your face.
Well, the game I was talking about with the Eagles, in Texas Stadium, I went with my buddies, a big Eagles fan. It's great. A lot of my friends are Eagles fans, as strange as it is, and we both were going. It was 98, so I don't know, it was 23 or whatever, and they were beating us the whole game, like I said. And then we come back and win it. He was up, waving his flag, talking shit, and I just sit there like, what am I gonna do? We're getting our ass kicked. And then when we win, everybody ambushed him. And then they're like in his face and he was so pissed. And I told him, but what I said was, man, you dished it out all game. 58 minutes, you're running your mouth. Now you got to take it. You were telling everyone that Eagles, he was singing the Eagles song in the crowd, doing all the thing. I said, you got to take it. And that's the way I am. If I'm, talking smack to, the other team and they end up winning, if I dish it out, I got to be able to take it. I'm not going to get violent and get all crazy. And that's what I guess, with some of these fans, they forget it's a game.
That's the thing is you can go to a game and be passionate, but I'll never go to a game with the intention to fight somebody or to try to get into a fight or try to get somebody to fight me. I'm going to go there. I'm going to be loud. But I'm going to be cheering for my team. I'm not talking shit to nobody else. I'm cheering for my team. That's it. I'm loud, but like, I'm not trying to fight. That's never what I wanted. And I ain't never been in a fight at a football game ever. I've had fans of opposing teams come up afterwards, shake my hand and say, hey, that's what a good fan should do. And that's what I try to pride myself in. Now, I will say I saw this quote today. I had to bring this and I had to say so CJ Gardner, I tweeted this out on the Eagles fans. He said, they're fucking obnoxious. I fucking can't stand the fuckers. Now, I don't know where this came from. CJ Gardner Johnson. So now
I'll send you the video.
Do some of the Eagles fans do they just take that whole Eagles stare? Because I know they're not all like that. But are there some of them that just take that like as a badge of honor? Like, we're going to be over the top. this is the way they cast us, the light they cast us in. This is what we have to be. Is that from your experience? For what's the percentage of Eagles fans that are actually like that?
I'd say 95% of us are like normal. And normal is probably not a good word because we're still insane, but there's like that 5% that are obnoxious. For him, I'm not going to judge him off that comment because he did get his car stolen here. So I feel like he probably didn't have the best taste in his mouth. But with him, it's like, all right, man, you just sound like the spiteful ex at this point. Like, I'm sorry you didn't get the contract you want, but it's been an off season of just talking shit on the fans, on the team, trying to like back himself up on social media. And it's just been like nonstop talking. It's like, all right, man, I'm sorry. Like, we didn't give you the contract you wanted, but you didn't get it anywhere else either. So I don't know why you're so mad at us, but it's just coming off as like the spiteful ex right now.
No, we Cowboys have went through that. We had Cole Beasley when he went to Buffalo run his mouth about the Cowboys for quite a long time before he finally stopped talking about the Cowboys. But
hey, I was just saying, Clarence had said that most fans are high on heroin by the fourth quarter, so I'll be fine. Is that any truth to that, or no?
No.
Is
because then you would be fine because everyone would be asleep. So then you wouldn't have to worry about getting in fights at all. Nobody would be responding.
Just don't go to North Philly, and then you'll be fine. You go to North Philly, then you'll see all those people, and there's a very good chance, probably over 80%, you're going to get shot. In the stadium, you'll be okay.
Wonderful. I mean, shit, where are we flying? Kelly, book the tickets.
We're going to get a hotel in North Philly, right? Is that what he said?
That's a safe spot.
Go to Nice Town. Everybody's very nice there. Right, Aiden?
Yeah. Stadium's in South Philly. We'll be fine.
All right. While we got you guys on, we're having fun with the obviously with the Eagle Cowboy, but the whole running back situation, we were talking a little bit about it with, Aiden, what's your thoughts on the whole running back situation in the NFL? And you got these big name guys. We're talking about Barkley. Do you see him holding out? Do you see, obviously Jacob said he's not going to show up from what Schefter said. I mean, what's your thoughts on the running backs? Because, I mean, you had Miles Sanders, you let him go, and then you just traded for Swift. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it'll be an interesting case study this year to see if the running back market ever swings back and they start paying those guys again. Because I think it's smart for Saquon and Josh Jacobs to hold out. Because I think if you're looking at the Raiders and Giants by week 3, you're saying, wow, these offenses aren't scoring. They don't look good. And they need these guys back. But at the same time, I understand the hesitancy to pay running backs because it's such a deep position. And it's like a position I would never want to be in is constantly franchise tagging my running back. That's probably not a good way to run a franchise. So I do the strategy that the Eagles are doing where it's Rashad Penny, it's DeAndre Swift. You're not sacrificing draft capital to get them. You're not committing a lot of money. Kenny Gainwell, I think, is going to end up being the best running back on the team anyways, and he was a 5th-round pick. I think that's the strategy, to have 3 or 4 guys and cycle them through. Isaiah Pacheco was the best running back on the Chiefs, was very valuable to them in that Super Bowl, and they won. Running backs are rental cars. It is like
I would say Camber gets the gold star for all the comments tonight.
Yeah,
that's really smart.
With the running backs, I would talk about it. So you see the like Bijan going in the first round. I mean, really think about it. You get him in the first round, you got 4 years. You pick up his 5th, you franchise him as 6th. They're pretty much giving up on the 6th, and then you just keep getting running backs. But going back to Zeke, the difference I would say with Zeke, and he was smart in what he did, and hey, he got his money. I mean, God bless him. What's going to hurt Barkley and what's going to hurt Jacobs is their teams aren't Super Bowl. They have no Super Bowl aspirations. I mean, Dallas was feeling, okay, they're there. And then Zeke holds out. It's the only leverage these running backs got is to hold out and pray that the owners fold. I don't know if these owners are gonna fold. I think Saquon has a better chance of them folding than Jacobs, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think that first month of the season will determine like running back market for years to come. Because if the Raiders and Giants look awful without these running backs, people are going to be like, all right, you need like an RB1. Like you need a weapon like this. These teams can't survive without them. Yeah. But if they come out and they're doing fine, maybe then, everyone's like, it goes back to this. Running backs are just like a rental car. You can pretty much plug in anybody. After 4 years, just move on.
Well, who was the best running back in the Super Bowl? Isaiah Pacheco, roughly 7th round.
Exactly. And I think that's what's also hurt the running back position is when you look at all these teams that have picked up running backs that have come in and started, and not only started, but been very good and productive. And they've got these guys in late rounds, whether it be Hall from the Jets, the kid Walker from up in Seattle. You've got Isaiah Pacheco. Like you get these running backs in these later rounds, and they're coming in and they're having instant impact. So you look at stuff like that and you're like, okay, why am I going to pay a running back $20 million a year? I can go out and grab a guy in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, 4th, whatever, and this guy can come in and take the place, and I can save that money and put that money elsewhere, whether it be, whatever position you might need. I mean, the owners are playing it smart, and it's a business, and unfortunately for these running backs, they're on the wrong end of it.
And I think that's exactly what the Cowboys are going to do, right? I book it right now. This is Tony Pollard's last season on the Dallas Cowboys. He will be franchised, and then that's it. They will move on from him. He's not getting a long-term deal. They will see what they have in a guy like Malik Davis, who I think is a complete back and has a chance to make an impact this season and the seasons going forward. And they'll either sign a free agent again next year, and they'll draft another running back, and then they'll continue the cycle.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're good with the running. You have no concern with the Cowboys running back situation, what they got?
I mean, do I have concerns? Of course, because behind Tony Pollard there's still question marks. And even with Tony Pollard, there's question marks. One, he's coming off the injury, correct? Two, he's never had that full workload. We don't know if injuries are going to be a problem. We don't know if that explosiveness will be there when he's taking that pounding. But at the same time, I'm okay to roll the dice, right? I am a rip the Band-Aid off guy. I do not want Zeke back. It's time to move on. We don't need his 18 inches on 3rd down right now and then hobbling around. Thank you, Zeke, for what you did. I'm done. I don't know what Ronald Jones is going to give them, if he's even going to make the team. I really do believe it's going to be Tony Pollard, Malik Davis, and Deuce Vaughn are going to be the top 3. And
are you in love with the fullback? Are you in love with the fullback?
Yes. That's my next guy from North Dakota State. I think he'll make the squad. I really do. I think he's going to have a special teams impact. He can catch the ball. He's that John Coonish type guy.
So Dalvin Cook, if you could pick him up, you're not going to take him.
No, because I'm not investing $20 million in my running back room.
Get him on a 1-year deal.
1-year deal for what?
I don't know. Whatever. You got salary cap room. If you can get him on a 1-year deal, would you take him?
I don't know.
Ellie, you taking him?
I'm all in on Dalvin Cook if we get him for the right price, man. I love what Dalvin Cook can bring. If you had Dalvin Cook,
1 year, $5 million, I'm in, but it's not going to happen.
You look at when I look at a guy like people were sitting there looking at DeAndre Hopkins, what he was wanting, and he ends up going to basically the highest bidder because that's exactly what he did, because he definitely ain't winning a championship with the Titans, which is what he was saying. He was chasing a championship, signed with the Titans. That's not where you're going to go. But he went to the highest bidder. He got $13 million a year. I don't think that Dalvin Cook is going to get a big contract. I don't think anybody's looking to sign him long term. I think he's going to be looked at as a rental, and I think that the closer it gets to the beginning of the season, if he wants to earn some money, you might be able to get him on the cheap. I'm all in on Dalvin Cook just because I think if you put Cook in that offense with Pollard, that 1-2 punch and the combination of them, that's you don't have to worry about if Malik Davis can carry the load. You got a guy in Dalvin Cook that can. And him and Pollard splitting carries, I think that would be, man, I like that dynamic. That's just me. I like
shiny toy.
I just think
it is. It's that bike.
The running backs, it's just uncertain. I mean, you obviously got Pollard. I think Pollard will be fine from the injury. I don't think there's any issues there. But when it's 4th quarter and you're playing 20 games and you need to grind it out, do we have the guy that can do it? Malik Davis seems like, all right, maybe he's going to be good. Maybe he's not. They for whatever reason, they didn't use him in the playoffs. Still blows my mind that when Pollard went down, they didn't use him. But I don't know. And I want to, God damn it, I want to win. And I'm not going to, I don't want this. I don't want my future to be held on. I think we might have some guys that could do it. If they can get a guy at a reasonable price, because I think Dalvin Cook can say what he wants, but if you got it's supply and demand. And if you got no demand, I mean, you can ask for whatever the hell you want. He ain't going to sit. These running backs aren't sitting out for nothing. The other thing is it just lip service when these dudes are talking about wanting to try to win a Super Bowl? Because if you're Dalvin Cook and you want to win a Super Bowl and money is not what you're chasing, you want to win a Super Bowl,
why the hell wouldn't you sign with Dallas? I mean, first of all, what if you do sign for, let's just say you sign for a $6 million 1-year deal, is you're going to Texas. There's no state income tax in Texas. So you're going to automatically, you're getting more money than anywhere else you go, unless it's, I think there's
Florida.
1 or 2 other. Florida has the no tax, but I mean, unless you're going to a state like that, you're and already there's been teams that have told him, look, we're not paying you what you're asking for. So he's gonna have to come down off his price. The question is when, how much, and where.
I mean, it's still a lot of money, and if they don't have any suitors and they're not getting it, unless they're going to stand united, which okay, we'll see what happens. But I'm just saying. If the right price and the right opportunity comes along, the thing I don't like, and what I'll give the Eagles a lot of credit for last year, is they didn't cut no corners. They went all in.
Yep.
And they had some issues in the run defense. They went and got Sue, and they got my boy from the U. And I mean, they tried to address their problems. And I'm just saying, just hope Cowboys aren't going to be, just going to bang their head against the wall and say, oh, we'll get it. Because there may be guys out there. And I'm just saying, I've seen that enough. And I want to see us, if you got a shot, you can step on someone's throat. Damn it, let's just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let's go get Aaron Donald, baby. He doesn't want to play for the Rams anymore.
Oh, man, please.
So, you imagine him on that defensive line?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Then I'd be worried about you guys winning 13 games.
That would be nasty.
Would you give up a 1 for Aaron Donald?
Man, I probably would, because I'm desperate, man. 27 years, and I'm sure you guys are the same way, man. Damn it, we got to get a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I think I'd give up a 1 if he had 2 years.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd go ahead and take the philosophy. If they're telling me that I can win a Super Bowl this year, and I think that Aaron Donald definitely would greaten those chances, I'd be like the Rams GM. Fuck them draft picks.
Yep.
let's do it, man. I'm telling you, like I don't care, man. I told somebody not that long ago. I said, look, if the Cowboys were to go all in and win the Super Bowl this year, but then you were going to tell me that they were going to be 5-11, a 5-6 win team for the next 5 years, I would take it in a heartbit.
Same.
Give me that damn Super Bowl. I want number 6. Like, I'll take.
Look at the Rams. I mean, the Rams.
Exactly.
It worked.
It worked. They won a Super Bowl, and now they're struggling, and they're kind of on the downside now. They're looking like they may be a team that's trying to rebuild.
But I'd be good with that. People are like,
I'm good with that. Yeah.
Bye, exactly.
Grandma.
Trading my grandma for Donna.
Man, it's been a long time. So no, we've been kicking it for over an hour. We're having a good time. I thought we'd get a little bit more hate. I'm a little disappointed, and maybe myself. I should have been.
That's what always happens.
It's hard to be mean to Aiden. I just can't help. I like this kid.
It's like a Trojan horse that just come in and I'm real nice, and you think it's a gift, and then come out and win 13 games, win the division. Then you're like, I hate that guy.
Hey, so you guys get to AT&T, or you guys no?
We could probably do it this year. I'm single and live alone, so it's a lot easier for me to just pick up and leave. Kevin's got the kids and the wife at home, so we'll see if we can get him out there. But I think we can do it.
Is there another one coming that I don't know about?
I don't know.
No, we got to get you out to AT&T. It's too bad you can't be there for the Jets. We're having our first annual Cowboys Cave tailgate party. It's going to be live. It's going to be hype. We got Cuts by Jones. He's going to be working that grill. So that would be the ideal time if you're a true Cowboys fan to come down to the cave, come down to the tailgate cave and have a good time. But I know for an Eagle, if you're going to spend your money, you want to see your team get their ass whooped there. You don't want to, you don't want to see some other. I get it. So anyway, we'll wrap it up. But tell them, everyone, one more time, man. Where can they find you? Give them all your stuff. They should know, but tell them.
I'll leave you that to Aiden.
All right, Birds vs. Voice Pod on pretty much everything. YouTube, at Birds vs. Voice Pod, on Twitter, TikTok. Our producer Vince does a great job cutting up the clips, posting everything for us, and then anywhere that you can subscribe to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, everything like that. You'll find us. We're live pretty much every week, YouTube Shorts, and then our regular show, and we'll definitely be having both of you guys on this year, probably multiple times, and especially for Eagles Cowboys Hate Week.
Yeah, and if you've never watched the show too, during Cowboys Eagles week, we call it Hate Week. Leading in, we do multiple interviews every single day. Aiden, before the Christmas show, I think we did 17 interviews the week leading in. Cowboys figures, Eagles figures, former players, current media people. So we go nuts. But we cover the entire NFL from draft to Super Bowl and everything in between.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, they do great stuff. I've been part of it. It's a lot of fun. I wish there was more hate, though. I mean, it seems too nice.
It comes closer once the games come.
We'll get there. It's July.
Yeah, we're still getting into season mode. We're still in off season mode. Just we got to ramp it up, Mike, when the season starts. We'll get there.
Yeah.
I'll leave you
Like the
guys
little
with this.
engine
Maybe,
that could. We're
yeah,
getting
well,
there.
here's the thing. I'll leave you guys with this if you want a little hate. Maybe if you guys made an NFC championship of my lifetime, we'd have more to fight about. But we don't.
Oh,
You wait till the end of the show.
Here
You
it
wait till
is.
the end of the show, start flapping them gums. You still didn't win. You went there, got nothing. Doesn't that? I mean, if I'm going, I'm winning. When we go, we win. You see the 5. You see right there. There it is. That's what you don't have. And
No,
now,
I literally have not seen.
now wait a minute. Now you're gonna make me wait because I can't leave it that way. So let me.
By that, I got everybody going right at the end.
Let me get what I need to get because now you hurt my feelings. So this is so you heard part of Eugene. So now I don't know how this is going to work with 5 of us on there. I never did, but we're going to try it. Did you even consider the Eagles' arrival? I don't even know.
Well, I'll tell you what. Back then, they wasn't a powerhouse, and usually during the off season when they bring the schedule out, we would chalk it up as a W.
That's what I wanted.
that front office going, but I still keep having to remind them we still got 5 to that 1,
There
and that's
you
always
go.
going to be
And
better.
that will never ever change.
That's
Give me
right.
5, baby. We got 5 on that.
Yeah,
5 on that. I don't care what you say. We
that's
have
right.
5.
So we leave it at that. That's just a reminder. You got your 1. Be happy with it. But 1 and 3, I don't know if that's something I'd be doing backflips in the streets over. But that's just me.
We'll definitely we'll be building on it next year, and hopefully we have the first back-to-back NFC East champs since we did it back in the early 2000s. But
Ain't happening. But no, we love having you guys on. Hang tight. I want to talk.
We're getting you up. We're getting you up. You guys are coming up. We're going to do live shows from Philadelphia. We're doing it. We're setting it up. It's happening.
All right, well, let me know, man. We'll be down. But I will let me hang tight, and I want to talk to you when we get off. All right, Kelly. I thought we'd have a little bit more hate. I'm a little disappointed.
Well, when you got some, it's not all Eagles fans are just that not all of them are eating horse manure off the streets like the guys that you saw that did that after their Super Bowl win. I mean, that's how excited they were that their meal of choice was manure. Not all of them are like that. Sometimes you get some guys in here that are some good guys.
Yeah.
And
no, they're awesome.
A good time.
No, they're top notch. So,
yeah,
guys, we had a busy week. I told you we had Malik Rozier. If you missed that one, that's some great college, NFL, of course, Cowboys. We interviewed Chuck Howley's son, who's gotten inducted to the Hall of Fame. Obviously, we talked about Chuck Howley suffering from dementia, tragic thing. So, it's really sad that they finally get him in. He's not there to really enjoy it. So we had a great interview with him that we'll be dropping. We got Dave Campo on the horizon. We'll be talking a little NFL, some Cowboys stuff. It was his birthday today, so make sure show the man some love if you follow him on Twitter. So anyway, anything else, Kelly? Did I forget?
I think that's it, man. I just know we got plenty of things planned for the future. This season is going to be a great one. It's football is getting very close. And I can feel it in my bones. It's like Eugene Lockhart said, he talked about the players having an internal switch. I think us fans, we got an internal switch too, and we can feel it. Training camp is right around the corner. And, it's only starting to heat up. We got big things coming down the pipeline. So you guys keep on supporting the channel, liking, subscribing. Make sure you passing it on to people through Twitter. Whatever social media app you use, let them know about the Cowboys Cave. Bring them to the Cowboys Cave. Like Mike said, we got that great drawing this week coming up. I'm telling you right now, Cuts by Jones, that thing is perfect. You're going to love it. It's going to be great in any man cave. It's a must-have. So keep staying tuned when we hit that 2K subscribers. We're giving that out. And don't forget, September 17th, the Cowboys Cave tailgate is going to be going down, and you don't want to miss that.
Well, we're just getting this party started. So, again, thank you, everyone. All the new subscribers. I saw a lot of new names in there. Definitely stick with us, man. We got a lot of fun stuff coming on. But, again, appreciate all the support.
Absolutely.
And we will see you next week. Unless we see you sooner. If something happens, maybe we'll pop in. But you guys have a great weekend. If not, take care.
Peace out, Cowboys Nation.
Now you Eagles get ready, because you might not like it. But you will learn to love it because we are the best thing going today. Now, can you dig it?